I was in the office today and I got some sad news. Um, it was news that basically came from left field that I did not anticipate. Um, a dear friend of mine, I learned early last week, that she was in a hospital for about 6 days at the time because she had an infection. And I'm thinking, okay, well, it's a hospital. She'd be good. It's an infection. They'll clean it up. They'll fix her. And today I got the news while in the office that she passed away. And um, it hit me very, very hard. Um, I'm from a large family, so I've had my share of deaths. And there's some that sting a little, and some that basically like just hit, depending on the person. This one here, this lady was someone that I worked with years ago, but um, we became friends. But it's the kind of friendship where if we don't speak for a year or two, there isn't any love lost. There isn't any, oh my God, you don't call me, blah, 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 blah. And it was hard. Like, I learned it in the afternoon and I cried. And even on the way home, like I was tearing up a bit because I don't know. I mean, I'm appreciative of the fact that we're here for a period of time. We all have an expiration date stamped someplace on our body, and there isn't, there isn't any hints or clues as to when and how. And I'm grateful that, well, one, that I knew her, right? Because when I look back, a lot of the people that I gravitated to and that I befriended, like, so basically the ones that I don't know, I really don't know how to describe it, but some of the ones that I hold near and dear, which there are very few, um, are introverted. At the time, I didn't know. Because I didn't know the terminology. I just knew that we were more on the quiet side. And, with this young lady, we would meet up pre-COVID. We would, meet up every so often. But then after COVID, I think we met up maybe like twice for dinner, a small group of us. And it's always nice, right? Because we catch up, um, talking about like what has happened in our lives since the last time. And it's always nice. It's always a wonderful experience for the four of us. And coming home, I was thinking about how there are some of us who say things like, "Oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow," or "I'm waiting until um, I retire," or "I'm waiting for my bonus to go to the spa," or whatever. Like there's this delay, and I want to say, stop delaying your life. Do what you want to do now, right? Because once you close your eyes, you can't come back and do it. Like you can't, if you are saving for a rainy day, let it rain today. I'm not saying like, go spend off everything, but enjoy your life now, right? The one thing I can say about my friend, Winnie is her name. That's not her given name. That's the name that she adopted because she's Asian, and she said that her teacher could not pronounce her name and then asked her, "Can I just call you Winnie?" And she's like, "Okay." Typical introvert. We're like, "Okay, whatever is clever." And I don't know. I'm going to miss her. Um, yeah. Life is short, and sometimes some people come into our lives and we don't know why. I find that the people who I hold near and dear are some that I've worked with um, and some who were quiet like me, who might have felt lost in this world at some point or another. And we were there when we needed to be there for each other, to support each other, and to let us feel cool, I guess. Um, I don't know, like the farther that I get on this journey, the more I realize that um, I really don't have, or at least I say that I don't have a lot of friends, which I don't. But there are some that I don't speak to daily, weekly, monthly, or in some cases yearly. But when we do get on the phone, or if we do see each other, it's a wonderful thing. That to me is what a friend is. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone that I see every day. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone that I go out, like every weekend with or whatsoever have you. Haven't done that in a while. But it should be someone who understands me, right? Because I'm realizing that it's important to connect with people who can understand and relate to who you are as a person. Life is short. Live your life. My morning messages that I'm doing, I think about a month ago, my spirit told me to start saying live on purpose. Make each day count. Sometimes people are going through things and they can't see beyond this moment because, like right now, it hurts so much that the thought of not feeling this pain isn't even a thing. And I look back to times when I was in a depressed state. This is years ago. And I'd be at work and I would just start to cry. I'd be in my office and I would just close the door. This is when they had office with doors because now everything is open. But I remember I would just, close the door and I would just start to cry. And I would call mom. And of course, mother that she is, she would feel bad because, there's nothing that she can do. And sometimes I would cry. I didn't even know what I was crying about. And, there were, as I grew older and started to, because then, for me, I used to turn on the gospel music and listen to some Yolanda Adams. And it would make me cry more. It would make me cry more. I mean, it was inspiring, but I don't know, for some reason, like, it had the adverse effect. But it, like, I got so, I don't know. I feel like I started to grow when I would tell myself tomorrow. And, I would always say, well, the sun is going to shine tomorrow, even if the weather forecast didn't say so. But I just knew that whatever I was going through was temporary. I mean, I think up until now, like, I still have some times when I'm quiet, but I'm happy to say that I am at a space where I am genuinely happy. I'm not even going to try to convince anybody because I think that those who follow me on social media see my posts. I don't pretend to be happy because I feel like that's a lot of work when you try to pretend to be or do something that you don't want to be or do. So for me, I'm enjoying and appreciating this space that I'm in right now. My friend, she enjoyed her life in her way. Again, she was quiet. She learned how to bake and do fondant. I think that's what it's called. So she used to do that for her little the little ones in her family, and she would share pictures. And at that time, I this was years ago, so I wasn't on this journey yet. And I remember, thinking to myself, oh, I can't wait to find something that can occupy my time. Something that would bring me joy that wasn't work. Because at that time I was a workaholic and I was just working. But I think that it's important for everybody to just find a way. It is difficult to live in this world now, where no one cares. Um, but just know that there are people out there who do care. Um, the good thing about social media is that you can just join, you can go and watch videos that will be uplifting, join people's communities, people who you align with. I've done that, and it brings me joy because I get to see some of these people on YouTube, whether it's a daily, message that they post, or weekly where we get on a live that will last for like 4 hours. And during those 4 hours, I'm either washing my hair, I'm cooking, I'm cleaning, I'm running errands, I'm doing something. But what's clear for me, or what I know, is that in that moment, while I'm doing all these things, I'm with some people that I appreciate. And these are communities that I joined during COVID, is when like I discovered some of them. And then the actually started during COVID. I started to follow one person, and then I realized that there were a recurring set of people that was joining, and we eventually started to follow each other's YouTube, and so therefore we support each other, and I think it's a beautiful thing. It would bring me joy to be able to connect with some of them in person one day, but God willing. But I'm saying that to say, find a community where you will feel appreciated and or seen. Um, sometimes it is difficult to trust people. Sometimes, especially as introverts, it's difficult to share, how we feel, because we keep everything inside. But I don't know. I when I look back on my journey, I realized that there's so much that I allowed to happen to me, and at some point in the future, when I feel more comfortable and stronger and more courageous, I will start to share stories. But I think that God gave us a voice, and we should use it. Doesn't have to be all the time, but use it when it counts. Use it when it counts. Reach out to, like if there's someone who, was in your life that you miss because they moved, or you moved, or a different job or whatever. Because there's always like one or two people who we vibed with years ago. I feel like corporate America today isn't what it once was, because I remember like the people that I worked with, back then, a lot of us, I don't know, like we used to love being in the office. We used to love being in the office and love being around each other. And every so often we'll just, get a text, or someone will say, hey, have you heard from so and so, whatever have you. And sometimes I'll even get a Christmas card from someone who I forgot about. Um, I don't know, I feel like the world is getting smaller and smaller, because people are dying, people are moving, people are depressed. um, I don't know, like I don't even know if I'm ranting right now, but I just feel like I don't know. My message is, I don't know what's wrong with my eye looks swollen, probably from the crying. We're all here for a purpose. We're all here for a purpose. And it's not easy to find what that purpose is. So in the meantime, do what feels right to you. Do what brings you joy, and be at peace. Like when you wake up in the morning, be sure to choose, well, first of all, thank God for waking you another day. and just be grateful for that day and for every opportunity that comes, especially the ones that are disguised as bad. I feel like when we think that, this bad thing happened, it's actually a good thing. We don't see it in the moment. We don't see that it's actually good for us in the moment, but eventually we see how good that thing was for us, and why it happened. Um, anyway, I just wanted to come on and basically share about my friend Winnie, and then I went down a rabbit hole. But anyway, I'm gonna hop off. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Have a great evening.